The flight chosen was a direct commercial route between LAX and Incheon International Airport, a trip that typically spans approximately 13 hours. Industry insiders speculated that the group opted for a commercial airline this time due to scheduling, rather than the chartered flights they sometimes use for privacy and security. Although members of BTS have enjoyed the flexibility of private travel in the past, it is not unusual for them to take first-class or business-class commercial seats when appropriate. On this occasion, only Taehyung and Jungkook were seen boarding. Accompanied by minimal staff and maintaining a discreet presence, the two entered through a private terminal section designated for high-profile individuals. Their appearance, casual and low-key, matched the quiet nature of their trip. Both were seen wearing face masks and hoodies, an unremarkable image, until news outlets later zoomed in on the significance of what was to unfold mid-flight. BTS, under the management of HYBE Corporation, has historically handled travel logistics with tight precision. According to public records and flight tracking data, the aircraft departed on time, with clear skies over the Pacific and no delays reported by the airline. At this point, all systems were functioning normally, and the flight was progressing without any observable issues. During the first few hours of the journey, it appears that Jungkook and Taehyung remained in their respective seats, away from public view. However, halfway through the flight, the atmosphere on board took a dramatic turn. As the plane cruised at high altitude, Taehyung reportedly began experiencing nasal discomfort, which escalated into a sudden nosebleed. While nosebleeds at high altitude are not uncommon, especially in pressurized cabins, they can be startling, particularly when involving a globally recognized public figure. What made the situation even more unusual was the decision by the two idols to go live on social media during the incident. This brief live stream, shared via Weverse or a similar platform, revealed Taehyung lightly dabbing his nose with a tissue, while Jungkook sat beside him. The tone of the video was casual, even humorous, with both trying to keep the mood light despite what appeared to be a visible stream of blood. Some fans interpreted the moment as a lighthearted interaction. Others, however, saw it as a potential health concern being underplayed. After the live broadcast ended, no additional updates were given from on board the aircraft. The airline's cabin crew, trained in basic medical response, reportedly offered assistance, and Taehyung declined emergency measures. According to unofficial reports from fellow passengers, the idols remained seated for the remainder of the flight, avoiding unnecessary movement. It was not until the plane landed in South Korea that the online community fully began to process what had taken place. Fan accounts exploded with reactions, ranging from concern about Taehyung's condition to confusion regarding the lack of an official statement from HYBE. Adding to the mystery was the fact that Taehyung did not appear in any arrival photos or videos at Incheon Airport. Only Jungkook was seen, walking past reporters in silence, head lowered, refusing to answer any questions. Some interpreted this as an indication that something had gone wrong. Others assumed it was simply a need for privacy. The press immediately began speculating about Taehyung's condition. Rumors of him being taken to a clinic straight from the tarmac began circulating, though no confirmation was given. As is often the case with major celebrities, the absence of information gave rise to various interpretations, many of which were unverified. The silence from HYBE, standard in such situations, did little to stop the spread of assumptions online. The nosebleed incident, while medically minor, acted as a catalyst for wider discussions. Was Taehyung overworked? Did Jungkook know something fans didn't? Was this a simple episode or indicative of larger issues affecting the members' health and schedules? What made this return flight particularly important is the combination of timing and visibility. Coming off the back of their US engagements and with military enlistment timelines looming for several members, public appearances are being scrutinized more than ever. Every action, expression, and absence is treated as a clue by a fanbase eager for reassurance and stability. As more footage emerged from Incheon Airport, body language experts online began analyzing Jungkook's mannerisms. One brief video showing him seated in a van wiping at his eyes led to further speculation. Was he crying? Was he tired? Or was it, as some claimed, a moment of deep frustration or concern for his friend? With no direct answers provided in the immediate aftermath, this routine flight quickly transformed into a headline-worthy event. What started as a straightforward journey from Los Angeles to Seoul became the focal point for broader narratives involving health, friendship, stress, and the complexities of global stardom. And it was only the beginning. As the aircraft maintained cruising altitude somewhere over the Pacific Ocean, passengers were largely unaware that anything unusual was occurring in the business class section where two globally recognized passengers were seated. Jungkook and Kim Taehyung, better known as members of BTS, were traveling without much fanfare. It wasn't until approximately midway through the flight, roughly the 7th hour of the 13-hour journey, that a situation developed which shifted the previously uneventful flight into a topic of global interest. According to limited eyewitness accounts and digital traces, the issue began when Taehyung began experiencing discomfort related to his nasal cavity. This symptom, later identified as a spontaneous nosebleed, is a relatively common occurrence at high altitude. Commercial aircraft cabins are pressurized to simulate an altitude of around 6,000 to 8,000 feet above sea level. At this elevation, dry air and lower humidity levels can contribute to nasal bleeding, particularly for individuals who are fatigued, dehydrated, or prone to sinus sensitivity. Though such an incident is not medically considered an emergency in most cases, the situation naturally attracted attention due to Taehyung's public profile. The incident reportedly took place while the cabin lights were dimmed, and most passengers were engaged in routine in-flight activities, watching entertainment, sleeping, or eating. Several passengers later posted on forums that they noticed crew members walking back and forth near the front section of the cabin, but few assumed anything critical was taking place. Surprisingly, instead of managing the situation in total privacy, the two BTS members made a decision that would later ignite a wave of online discussions. They initiated a brief live stream during the flight. Using their mobile device and leveraging onboard Wi-Fi, they connected directly to fans through the group's designated platform. The video, lasting just over 3 minutes, captured Taehyung holding a tissue to his nose, with a faint trace of blood visible. Jungkook appeared calm beside him, occasionally glancing at the camera and smiling slightly. The broadcast included no dramatic commentary or alarm. The conversation was light, brief, and devoid of medical terminology. Most fans who witnessed the live stream in real time were initially unaware of the underlying concern. It was only upon closer inspection, via screenshots and slowed-down playback, that viewers noticed what appeared to be blood on the tissue and a reddish tint near Taehyung's nostrils. The video was quickly archived, clipped, and reposted across multiple social media platforms. Within minutes, Nosebleed began trending alongside the artist's names on X, formerly Twitter, and Weverse. Several verified fan accounts requested clarification from HYBE Corporation or BTS's management team. However, no official statement was released in the immediate hours that followed the broadcast. Aviation regulations typically do not prohibit casual live streaming on board, provided devices are in airplane mode with Wi-Fi enabled and do not interfere with aircraft operations. That said, the decision to go live during a health-related incident surprised aviation observers. While some interpreted it as transparency, others viewed it as potentially unwise, citing privacy and health considerations. Regardless of perspective, the live stream provided a rare and unscripted moment of in-flight activity involving high-profile celebrities. Medical protocols on commercial flights include basic first aid for common issues such as minor bleeding, dizziness, and dehydration. All flight attendants undergo initial and recurrent training in administering first aid. The moment the live stream ended, a chain reaction began, one not unusual in the ecosystem of global fandoms and digital media. Despite its brief duration and lack of any overt announcement or clarification, the in-flight livestream featuring Jungkook and Taehyung circulated rapidly across all major social media platforms. With little more than a few spoken words and the subtle presence of a tissue, the content took on a life of its own, amplified by a global audience eager to analyze and decode every second. The original video was posted through a private member-only fan platform that allows artists to interact directly with fans. It was not labeled or previewed in advance, as most spontaneous posts from BTS members typically are. Those who witnessed the stream in real time were caught off guard. Many initially assumed it would be another casual moment, perhaps a quiet greeting or an update from the flight. But as viewers quickly noticed the presence of a tissue near Taehyung's face and the subtle trace of red, the tone of the moment shifted. Despite the informal atmosphere projected by both artists, some viewers paused to take screenshots, zoom in, and slow down the footage. By the time the stream had ended, the material had already been saved, downloaded, and redistributed in various fan communities. The first viral clip emerged on X, formerly Twitter, less than 10 minutes later, showing a looped segment of Taehyung adjusting his face mask while dabbing his nose. "Did V just have a nosebleed on the plane?" read the caption, one of hundreds that began to flood timelines. Hashtags such as hashtag Taehyung nosebleed, hashtag Jungkook flight alive, and hashtag protect BTS trended in multiple countries. Online forums, both Korean and international, initiated threads to discuss the event. While many took a concerned approach, others responded analytically, examining facial expressions, audio, and even Jungkook's body language during the short video. Commentary ranged from casual observation to in-depth speculation. A few amateur medical enthusiasts attempted to identify whether the bleeding was from the anterior or posterior side of the nose, terms typically reserved for clinical assessments. Meanwhile, body language analysts online published video essays claiming that Jungkook's quiet demeanor indicated concern, possibly even emotional strain. This reaction, however speculative, demonstrates the degree to which even the smallest unscripted content involving BTS can become magnified through fan culture and social media infrastructure. A 3-minute live stream, with no context or follow-up, provided enough material for hours of commentary, video analysis, and fan-led discourse in terms of reach. The clip garnered over 5 million views across various reposts within the first 12 hours. On platforms such as TikTok and Instagram, reactions, duets, and stitch videos recreated or reviewed the live stream. On YouTube, content creators published summary videos and speculative updates with titles like, "What really happened on BTS's flight?" and "Why was V bleeding midair?" The digital virality of the incident also caught the attention of mainstream news outlets. Several Korean entertainment sites ran headlines focusing on the live stream, quoting online fans and embedding screenshots. While none of these outlets were able to confirm further details about Taehyung's condition, they acknowledged the public's rapid response and the questions raised. It is important to note that neither Jungkook nor Taehyung issued a clarification post-flight. No social media updates, live sessions, or written messages were shared immediately afterward. HYBE, the management company, maintained its established policy of not commenting on unverified medical matters unless necessary. This silence did not stop the conversation. Rather, it contributed to an atmosphere of uncertainty, which in turn intensified public interest in digital media, particularly in K-pop. Silence can be interpreted in many ways. For some fans, the lack of an update from Taehyung or Jungkook suggested that the matter was not serious. For others, the absence of communication created more questions. Was Taehyung unwell? Had something happened after the flight? Why did Jungkook look quiet during the exit at Incheon? Compounding these questions was the footage of Jungkook at the arrival gate. As mentioned in previous chapters, Jungkook did not interact with reporters or fans, nor did he appear as energetic as he has in previous returns to Korea. One widely circulated clip showed him exiting into a black vehicle, head slightly bowed, without waving or acknowledging cameras. Again, fans debated whether this was exhaustion, a desire for privacy, or a sign of emotional strain. The live stream, now cemented as one of the more unusual moments in recent BTS history, sparked an important discussion about digital access and boundaries. While fans appreciated the honesty and spontaneity of the moment, others questioned whether such access to artists should be limited during personal or health-related scenarios. Commentary from media ethics analysts highlighted a growing concern in the entertainment industry, the blurring line between transparency and overexposure. In the age of live broadcasting, even unplanned moments become public artifacts, dissected by millions. For celebrities of BTS's magnitude, every facial expression, body movement, or small incident becomes data for the digital audience. Some army-led initiatives responded to the frenzy by posting reminders to respect privacy and avoid overanalyzing what might have been a simple physical reaction to cabin pressure. A few fandom pages even deactivated temporarily, citing the need for calmer discussion spaces. From a management perspective, the live stream's existence presents a case study in real-time PR. While no brand damage occurred and public sentiment remained largely sympathetic, the situation could have unfolded differently had the incident involved greater medical severity or had fans misinterpreted it further. The fact that both artists continued the flight without disruption suggests that the event was indeed minor, but the online narrative grew beyond that scope. By the end of the day following the live stream, the topic began to taper off in trending ranks. However, the underlying concern remained. Where was Taehyung? Why had there been no updates from either him or Jungkook? Was HYBE monitoring the online response? Would an official clarification come later? While the live stream offered a rare glimpse into the unfiltered reality of travel for top-tier celebrities, it also demonstrated the unpredictable ripple effects of even the most casual digital interaction. In the context of BTS, a group whose every movement is watched closely by fans, media, and industry alike, the 3-minute clip from 30,000 feet became more than a moment. It became a case study in the mechanics of global attention. As the following days unfolded, attention gradually shifted toward HYBE's potential response and Taehyung's visibility, or lack thereof. The live stream had raised awareness, but now new questions were emerging. Why had Taehyung not been seen since landing? What actions, if any, would be taken behind the scenes? Following the viral dissemination of the live stream from midair, attention began to shift from the original incident, Taehyung's nosebleed, to Jungkook's behavior both during and after the broadcast. While the event had no clear signs of distress or urgency, observant viewers were quick to highlight a subtle shift in Jungkook's demeanor, quiet, reserved, and seemingly detached. This change, captured in both the live session and the footage from the arrival at Incheon International Airport, became the next focal point in ongoing discussions across online communities. To understand the public's reaction to Jungkook's behavior, it is essential to first consider the context in which it occurred. BTS, as a group, has consistently navigated a demanding global schedule, including music releases, fashion campaigns, endorsements, and mandatory military service for some members. With intense public scrutiny and relentless schedules, moments of fatigue or silence can easily be interpreted as signs of deeper emotional or physical strain. During the live stream, Jungkook was present beside Taehyung but did not speak much. While Taehyung maintained a playful tone, despite the visible nosebleed, Jungkook appeared unusually quiet. He looked at the camera briefly but did not offer commentary. His body language, though not overtly dramatic, gave the impression of contemplation. He occasionally glanced sideways toward Taehyung and adjusted his posture, avoiding direct eye contact with the camera for most of the stream. This behavioral contrast sparked a wave of online interpretations. While some fans viewed Jungkook's quiet presence as respectful, allowing Taehyung to take the lead, others speculated it was indicative of deeper concern. Fan-made compilation videos circulated with titles such as "Jungkook's silence speaks volumes" and "Is Jungkook hiding his emotions on the plane?" Many focused on micro-expressions and brief eye movements, interpreting them as signs of worry or suppressed anxiety. Upon landing at Incheon, Jungkook exited the aircraft without Taehyung and walked through the arrival gate accompanied by staff and security personnel. The media, already gathered due to the live stream, captured a series of still images and short video clips. Unlike previous airport arrivals, where Jungkook often acknowledged fans or photographers with a nod or wave, this time he kept his head lowered and avoided interaction. Dressed in black, with a cap pulled low and a mask covering his face, he moved swiftly to a waiting vehicle without addressing the cameras. Footage of Jungkook inside the van moments after boarding showed him briefly wiping his face. Specific.